Good morning, writers. Once again, it is an exciting day because it's the start of a new unit. This unit is called The Craft of Fiction, and we get to write realistic fiction stories. So let's get started by filling out our writing learning intentions. First, make sure you fill out today's date. And then today as a writer, I am working on collecting story ideas. Just as we had talked about in our first realistic fiction unit this year, we know that authors don't just get their ideas from the sky. Authors really get their ideas for stories from things that happen in their everyday lives. Take, for example, this author, Robert McCloskey, who wrote a book called Make Way for Ducklings. His book is all about a family of ducks trying to find a home, and he got his story idea by sitting stopped at a traffic light as a line of ducks waddled across the street in front of him. Imagine a small thing like that turning into an award-winning story. So today, as we generate our story ideas, we want to think of things that happened in our own lives that had really significant meaning to us. We're going to think of an important moment in your life, create characters, and write a story idea about this moment or a story blurb. Then we're going to think about what was the bigger meaning or what was really important about this moment and jot it down on the side. So one time in my life I was thinking about was when me and my sisters would go out and play in our backyard on our swing set. During that time, me and my sisters would always have different competitions and try to outdo each other. So that's the moment in my life, and I created a couple of characters. I created a girl named Sam and a girl named Becca. And now here's my story blurb about that time in my life. So it says, a girl named Sam goes to the park with her older sister Becca, and they swing on the swings together. When the swing is in midair, Becca flies from the swing, showing off a big fancy trick she has learned. Sam decides to try the same thing, even though Becca tells her not to. Sam falls on her wrist and begins to cry. So this isn't actually something that happened in my life, but it's something that I know could happen when two siblings are out swinging together. So now I want to think, what is the bigger meaning, or what was really important about this moment in this story? So I think this isn't just a story about two sisters swinging and one falling off the swing. It's really about how Sam wants to be just like Becca. It's a story about how a younger sibling always tries to be like the older one, but the older sibling just sees Sam as the pesky little sister. So my next story idea comes from a time when I was in school, and I remember becoming friends with a new girl at school. Again, this story that I wrote the story blurb for didn't actually happen to me, but it's something that could happen in that kind of situation. It says, a girl named Callie was asked to be a buddy to a new girl, Marissa, at school. Callie thought Marissa was really nice, but when she got to the lunchroom, her best friend Kate called her over to her table, and Callie ditched Marissa, leaving her to eat by herself. Kate kept talking about how weird Marissa was, and instead of standing up for her new friend, Callie didn't say anything. Finally, at recess, Callie made the right choice and went to play with Marissa. I want you to take a second now and think of the bigger meaning of this story idea. What was really important about this moment? Turn and talk to your partner now. So some of you might have said some of these things. It's really a story about doing the right thing, speaking up, being kind to others, and possibly including or making new friends. Here are a few things that are important to remember as you start developing ideas for your stories. One thing that's important is that story ideas are based off of things that we have experienced. For example, you probably have never gone skydiving or never been near a volcano when it erupted, so those would not be good ideas to write stories about. You may have, however, had times where you've had problems with siblings or problems with friends. Maybe you've been scared of something. Those would all be things that would make great story ideas for realistic fiction stories. Another helpful tip is that characters are around your age. You know your age the best, so your characters should be around your age. And then finally, stories tend to work best when there are no more than 2 or 3 main characters. Keep these things in mind as you are working on your story blurbs today. Your goal is to get at least 3 story blurbs written today. Make sure to take your time and really include many details about what's happening in the story, including who are the characters, what is the problem your character faces, and how does that problem get resolved? And then think of what really is the bigger meaning of your story. Work hard and make it a great day.